Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. And in today's video, we'll be talking about Venus in the second house. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. So before we start, just a few quick disclaimers. You first want to understand what sign is Venus positioned in. Is Venus exalted in Pisces in its own sign of Taurus or Libra, or debilitated in Virgo, or is it a sign that it enjoys being in? This is very important to understand for the functioning of Venus. Along with this, you want to see, is Venus conjunct with any planets or being aspected by any planets? You also want to see, is Venus compatible with your ascendant lord, and which houses in your chart are ruled over by Taurus and Libra, as Venus will have a huge impact over these houses. Along with this, you want to understand that Venus will mature at the age of 24, so this will be a major moment in your life where Venus will take hold. Also, it's very important to understand when Venus returns back to its original position within your natal chart during a Venus return. The most important moment, though, is during a Venus Mahadasha. So if you've not seen my video on the Venus Mahadasha Bhuktis, I will leave a link for that above and down below in the description. So what does Venus represent? Venus is the planet of love, of relationships, of romance, sexuality. It is all about sensual pleasures, enjoyment. Venus rules over the arts, beauty, culture, class. It is all about everything that is enjoyable about life. Venus is also associated with the wife in a male's chart. Along with this, Venus rules over childbirth. It is all about our friendships, connections, everything that brings us together with other people. Venus is a very luxurious planet. It rules over all of the luxuries of life, all of the wealth, all of the possessions, all of the things that we want to obtain in the material world. So what does the second house represent? The second house is the house of our early upbringing. It is the values that were instilled in us in our childhood. It also represents our family lineage and our connection with our family in general. The second house is also a house of wealth and security. It is all about our ability to make money, to save, and to have the resources that we need. The second house is also a house of nourishment because the second house represents the face, and in particular it represents the mouth where we take in food and nutrients into our body. It also is representing the words that come out of our mouth. So this is the house of speech. So what happens when Venus comes into the second house? Well, this is a pretty well-placed Venus because the second house is the original home of Taurus, and Venus is the ruler of Taurus. However, the second house is also signifactor of Jupiter, so there is a conflict between Venus and Jupiter. So there are mixed results coming from this Venus in second house. But mainly, this is a very positive position, specifically if you have it well placed within your natal chart. Venus in the second house gives a lot of knowledge around how to make money and to bring resources into your life. Venus in the second house is definitely a very materialistic placement. It gives a huge interest in security and stability. Venus here is definitely going to give you an ability to attract wealth and resources. However, Venus also is going to make you interested in spending this wealth as well, because Venus is all about sensual enjoyment. Venus in the second house gives really good taste. You have refined taste and you love all of the pleasures in life. This gives you a huge interest in collecting jewelry, clothing. This is definitely going to make you very much interested in your appearance, in the way that you come across to others. And this can make you very attractive, again, as this rules over the face. You can have a very pleasant and attractive look about you that is very pleasing to other people. Because the second house also rules the speech, you also can have a very pleasant way of speaking. You can be very polite, very soft-spoken. You can have a very seductive and attractive way of speaking. If there are afflictions to Venus, though, this can make you very obsessive about acquiring material things in life. You can become a hoarder with this position if it is really badly afflicted. Mostly, though, this is going to give you an interest in attracting arts and beauty into your life. Venus in the second house can also sometimes give you creative talents as well, particularly because the second house rules the voice. You can have singing abilities with Venus in this second house. You also can make an excellent speaker, presenter, lecturer. You can have a very pleasant way of speaking that can make you very popular. Venus in the second house sometimes makes you interested in wanting to have a beautiful and spacious home as well. You like to bring beautiful things into your home, to decorate your home space, to bring in paintings, works of arts. This is something that's very important to you. Definitely Venus in the second house gives a huge interest in wanting to be comfortable within your everyday life. Typically, Venus in the second house can have difficulties with relating to people who are more aggressive, to being in situations where there's a lot of tension. You love peace, you love harmony, you love all of the beautiful and sensual things of life. So it's very important to make your space peaceful and comfortable. Because of the speaking ability, you can also be very entertaining. You can have a huge love of bringing people together and laughing and having enjoyment and connections. So definitely, once again, this makes you a very likable and popular person. Venus here also makes you want to eat well. You are someone who, again, has really good taste. You want all of the luxurious foods in life, all of the foods that taste good. If Venus is negatively afflicted, though, there can be issues with eating disorders, which all sorts of issues with overindulgence that can be seen with this position. With Venus in the second house, you definitely have a huge love of family. You are invested in your family, devoted to your family. This is a huge area where you put your time and energy into. You want to make sure that your family is secure and safe, and you love to be connected with your family members. Venus in this second house can also make you someone who is interested in wanting to build financial resources for your family, for your lineage. And sometimes Venus in the second house, depending upon how it is positioned, can also get you into your family business. You can carry on your business of your family members with this position. Definitely it gives a huge love and devotion. Venus here is very cultural, wants to hold on to the early values and traditions of the family. So you put a lot of value and importance on the things that you were taught in your early upbringing. Sometimes Venus here in this second house, as it aspects onto the 8th house, can also give you a very attractive spouse, particularly if this is in a male's chart. But in general, Venus is about relationships. So definitely you can attract someone who is very beautiful, very handsome looking. And Venus here specifically, again, for a male's chart, can bring in a spouse who has a lot of money or comes from a family that has a lot of money. Sometimes you can get luck and inheritance as well. You can be born into a family where you have money, where you have resources, or where you are given the things that you enjoy within your childhood. So definitely this is a very fortunate position if Venus is placed well in this second house. Venus here, though, if it is badly placed, can create a lot of obstacles in relationships. Sometimes you can have difficulty finding the right partner with Venus in the second house. If it is poorly placed in the chart, you can be a perfectionist. You can have very high standards, very high values in terms of what you're looking for in a spouse, and it can take longer for you to find this partner. Sometimes if Venus is badly afflicted, there can also be tendencies towards promiscuity, so you want to be very careful with Venus placed in the second house. Venus here can definitely bring in money and resources through any kind of business dealings that have to do with beauty, that have to do with giving a pleasant experience to others. You can be very skilled in customer service, and anything where you are giving hospitality, where you are making others feel comfortable. You could have skills in cooking, or you could simply have an enjoyment in cooking as a hobby. Definitely Venus here makes you want to make others feel comfortable.